Yeah. Well, hello there people. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to replace this part, which is the fuel pressure regulator for the M119 engine. In this case, at least, I do think it is pretty much the same as a lot of other Mercedes engines from this era, but my car here is the w210 E50 Amg with the M119 engine put in it. So it's pretty straightforward job, this one, and I have to say that it is a part of my preventative maintenance plan on this car. This one isn't particularly bad, even though I can taste some fuel fumes when I suck on this end here, meaning it does seem to have some minor leak inside, but it isn't wet by any means. If you like do like this, there's nothing coming out of it, of that vacuum port. But if it would come out a lot of fuel here, it is definitely bad. But in this case, it isn't like broken, but like I said, I'm replacing it as a part of my preventative maintenance plan for my lovely E50 AMG. So I think we should get on, replace this one. So you gotta make sure to release tank pressure when you're working on the fuel system front. Also loosen this up. There's supposed to be a Schrader valve, and I just use like suction mats, and oh shit. I should have done this with two hands, because now I spilled fuel all over my lovely air filter box. But now you can see the importance of having stuff on the underside here. Okay, we'll do like this one more time. And that was all. Now there's no more pressure, so now you can open or take out the fuel pressure regulator. But first, I'm going to clean up this fuel mess. So that is better. Got to keep it clean, people. You don't want any fuel leftovers on plastic. It dries it out pretty severely. So now there's no more pressure in the system, and we can go ahead and replace the fuel pressure regulator. So you can see I've cheated a bit already. I started to take off this vacuum connection, so it is a bit loose, because it was definitely not loose. So that's a good thing. And what you want to look for is basically if there's coming fuel out of this portion of the fuel pressure regulator. If it is, then you have a problem. Let's go ahead and remove this C-clip hit down here. And what you also want to do is to put a lot of paper or suction mats around here, so you will catch a potential fuel coming out of this, because there will come fuel out of this when you take out the pressure regulator. So here you have a suited C-clip tool, which you just insert down into the two holes there, and you press it down together like that, and you can release it. Just make sure you don't lose it. And most likely you can wiggle it out. Maybe I want to use a little flat screwdriver. Perfect, I think. So just stick it under there. I should have had two hands here. But I'll try to make a good video, so there. So this is a genuine one, and you can see it's quite different from the new one, which we are going to have a look at right now. This is the new one. The parts number is this, and it is a genuine Bosch one. And it's also made in Germany, which is very comforting to know. And this is the direct replacement for a genuine Mercedes one. There's quite a lot of difference, and you might think, well, that's not the same, that won't fit and stuff like that, but it does. It's just a newer design. But to be fair, I really don't know what you're gonna get if you order a new from Mercedes. If it's gonna look like this, that would be a bit of a concern. Then I would actually go ahead in the future to replace them with original ones, because I'm not too fan of all this plastic. What I also see is that the hole there in the middle is quite a bit larger than this one, but again, it's all a matter of design. So we'll just see if there comes anything out there. It definitely tastes like a bit fuel, but it smells, no, I'm mixing up the words here, because I'm talking about how it tastes, but it doesn't taste like fluid. It tastes like just like how it would smell, you know. So it's just like the fumes. So there is some fumes in here that I can taste when I suck on this pipe here. What I want to do is also to put on a tiny bit of oil on this O-ring and that O-ring, and I'm only putting on a tiny bit. You don't want to overdo it in any ways, just so you don't mount it dry. So there, people, it's ready to go in the hole. And I lubricated it with just some regular engine oil. And what I think I will do here is actually to clean up this housing. Okay, it's ready to go in. I have to focus a bit, so excuse me for whatever is going to happen with the filming here. And what you want to do when you press it in is just to rotate it a bit like this to make sure it's seated, and then you press it in like that. Now you can basically remove the paper, so you'll have a bit more overview of how it looks like when it comes to the orientation. A bit more to the side. Then we can find the C-clip and put it back on. Also, using the opportunity to clean off this C-clip or locking ring before we put it back in, so it looks a bit more tidy. And it's also obviously a good thing to have everything clean here, so that's another good reason to clean up this locking ring. And I'm risking stuff here by not using both hands, but I think I will manage it. And then what I also usually do is like do a bit of this just to make sure that it is seated down in the grooves, and that is perfect. And just to put a bit of OCD spice on, I want to have the two holes completely in the middle there. Yeah, I know, it's fun. And then put on the hose there. Looks good. Also, I just put on this dust cap on the pressure fitting here, removing this and just giving it a bit snug tightening. You don't want to like, it's not going to hold the whole car, you know, it's just like a dust seal. Go back here and put back the gas cap. By the way, if you didn't notice, that's Mercedes for you. They put a spring in here that is combined, like the spring that is the function of the fuel door, but it also can hold the fuel cap, which is friggin' fantastic. There's a lot of people that don't know that, actually. Fun fact. So maybe we can also put on, no, I'll leave that until I see that there's no leaks. Obviously there won't be any leaks here. Ideally, I would like to have a helper here, but I think I'll manage. I'll just double check that the locking ring is in its position. This is tight, this one is tight, this one is tight. It should be good to go. Let's crank it up. Shall we try it? Okay, let's go out and have a look. No leaks. No leaks. Still no leaks. That's good. Runs quite smooth. No leaks. Still no leaks. That is perfect. So we turn it off. I really hope you liked this video, and like I said, this is a preventative maintenance thing for me at least, because you really don't want that diaphragm in there in the fuel pressure regulator to break, because then you will have massive overfueling, because it will suck fuel from the top of the fuel pressure regulator and into the inlet, and you get an overfueling condition. So changing this one, even if you don't have any problems initially, it's a good thing to stay on top of the game and making sure that you don't have these kind of things happen, you know, because they always happen when you least want them to. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys in my future videos. Bye bye bye. See ya.